What's good?
I don't know, man. You tell me, dog.
Oh my gosh, this feels good to be back. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know.
I'm excited to see you, Munchy Poo.
You still with the shits, huh?
I wouldn't be me if I wasn't with the shit, okay?
I feel it. You know, you need that every now and again.
I feel like you gotta hit them with the intro, with the
Welcome to Trappin Ain't Dead, another day, another dollar. Peep game. It's your boy Munch. You know what I'm saying? I'm here with my co-host, you know.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Look.
See, this time I threw it to you, you weren't ready.
I wasn't.
Come on, coach.
Look,
You used to get on me about that shit. Like, hey.
I know, right? And you did. It's your girl, Janae Tate, co-host of Trappin Ain't Dead, founder of High Low News. Look, they got to understand, this is like a long time coming. And even though we came together for this special edition, like, I definitely missed doing this show with you. The energy that we brought to this, all of the things that we did, all the episodes we did, is just something very, very special about, when we come together and we talk our shit. And so just to hear that another day, another dollar, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm fangirling, as you're saying.
Yeah, for me, it's like, we talked, offline and stuff, and like, it's just an energy thing, and so sometimes, you try to fight what you feel is your purpose, what you feel is not your purpose, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, you just gotta sit with yourself and listen. And for me, it was just like, it just kept pulling on me, like, hey, we gotta do this. So I would just hit you up like, yo, pressure check, like, hey, I don't know if you sending bat signals, you know what I'm saying? Morse code and shit.
Look, man, there is so much for us to talk about tonight. Of course, tonight is like, we're focusing on the Virginia Key Beach, because I feel like if anybody gonna talk about this shit, it need to be me or Munch. I can't do it by myself. I don't want to,
I can't do it. I can't talk to the computer. I feel crazy. It's bad for my mental health. It's just horrible.
Yeah, it's cool to interview people, but for us to be able to talk our shit and have these conversations that people be having offline that they just can't have in public.
Yeah,
I just feel like we giving the people what they want and what they need, especially at this time with this.
The demographics have changed since then. We went through the pandemic and whatnot, and both of us respectively are in different places in our growth and businesses and whatnot. So it's just like, I just felt like it still was a void, like it was nobody really talking about the issues and really playing it and like not taking sides. You feel me? And so a lot of times, and what my mission was from the beginning was just to like, yo, let's just inform the people, educate the people on the process, but how to get involved, you know, and it led to a lot of, different opportunities,
Yeah. And I think right now is like you said, a special moment for both of us. I think we're both in a position to bring a different energy, or I would say different, but like more wisdom, more understanding to the process.
Yeah.
And I feel like, at some point tonight, if you want to, we could get into like Trappin Ain't Dead, the future of it. But I think we could start it off with the Virginia Key Beach and all this foolishness and what's going on. What's up, Danny? Sorry, this is an Android base. I don't know what it is. I don't know what type of platform it is.
Let me go to the comment section. I'm not on production tonight. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? So excuse me if I gotta switch over to StreamYard and figure, I'm chilling. I'm off my job tonight,
Look, they gonna understand. They gonna feel us just the same. I wanted to share this to my personal page too, to tell people to tune in. So that's what we want y'all to do. Before we get into the thick of this conversation, y'all like, y'all share, y'all tell a friend, send a message in a bottle. This helps us grow and get more engagement and be able to continue to do what we do. So let's share this right now and like it, so other people could come in and join the conversation with us. So we are, first of all, I don't know how to do this from my Facebook group, so let me go to the Facebook.
Who you telling? I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I know I got the shares. I know how to do it from the phone, but it's a process.
I do, but I'm like, where is it?
Because I got so many pages that I run for other clients that so that they and because I ain't did trapping them, and Facebook do the shortcut, so I have to go to actual pages app to kind of do it. And the what's the name profile?
Why is it telling me share to your story? Share. Look at us. I sound like a grandma. What?
I mean, this shit changed like every two minutes. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
Lee.
I don't know why it won't let me. It's not letting me. Somebody share it to me. Somebody share it to your page for us. Somebody share it for us because this shit here, it's like
it's not letting you.
I'm in my group and it's saying I'm trying.
Oh yeah, it's not letting me share it as an individual. That's what you said.
Yeah, it's not letting me share it on my personal page.
No, it's shared on your personal page already.
It is?
Yeah, because I see it on the trap page, on the personal page. That's how it's on. That's how it's on here.
I got it in the Facebook. I got it in the Facebook group.
Yeah, but it's showing on your actual live too, and it's showing on trap. Yeah.
Oh, see, I can't see that. But we're gonna put it on here anyway. Tune in now. Trappin Ain't Dead is back. So we'll do that. I'll do all my million shares after we done. I ain't gonna bore the people with us trying to figure out the technology of all of it.
Yeah, man. You know, it's the way of the world nowadays. You know, I fought a lot of that shit. You know, and I'm in that world. I fought a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on your page, Shanae. Okay, somebody tell me. All right, cool. Thank y'all. Munch, where do we start with this Virginia Key Trust Beach, Black Beach, Christine King, Patrick Range, squaring up? Where do we even start with this shit for the people?
Man, I guess we could start it last night, you know, because
that's a good place.
Yeah, I think I want to start with last night because one is still something that's still in motion. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And so with the meeting last night, it was put together by well, basically Gerald. I'm gonna credit Gerald. Shout out to Gerald Reed Jr. He made sure that we was on this call. And when we talk about like community folk and really, you know, it's Black media, we really got people who really care about this, and they hit us up. It's like, yo, y'all got to do it. So it's really the people who got me to be like, nah, I got to get done. And so I jumped on the call. I was on previous calls before that Gerald went live or tried to go live because I wasn't able to go. And basically, the meeting was about Virginia Key and what was the next steps, basically. Mm-hmm. So.
And I want to give a shout out to the Circle of Brotherhood, specifically Brother Anthony Durden and of course Mr. Leroy. They have been the ones who have been keeping me in the loop and sending me information and helping me even arrange the interview with Patrick Range. Ketchy was a part of that as well. So it's been a couple of people, Maya Passmore, that have been like making sure that I stayed on top of it and with my coverage. And last night meeting, just to give people just a little bit more context, it was a follow up to all of the I guess the groundwork that they had laid, you know, late last year with going to City Hall protesting. And so this was more so a update to the community to let them know like what they're doing now, what they're doing, what they're going to do next, and kind of just also to a vent session of like everybody's grievances and how upset they are of what's going on with the city of Miami and Christine King and her role of ousting the trust that was majority Black and now is majority Hispanic because of how the new setup is. And
exactly.
I guess we could put a pin in that. I would say Munch, like, can you give people kind of like the significance of why we should care about Virginia Key Beach? Like, what is that beach? Why is it so special to the Black community?
So, you know, first and foremost, we got to talk about, and I'm going to take this from kind of like the beginning and how it was brought to me. It was brought to me, shout out to Ruben Roberts. He basically, we did a recording that with Patrick Range, Jr. And basically he had told us to share it to everybody. So I did it. I did the initial recording, the initial interview with Ruben Roberts. And from the beginning, when you think about just the inception of Miami, we was always they needed black votes, you know what I'm saying, black signatures to incorporate this city. And so that tells you about the landscape of black folk here. And we can go into the history of the Bahamians that was here and other folk that was here before then, indigenous to this land. But to fast forward, Virginia Key, a number of beaches, and we talk about, I think this is around the 50s, other things like that. It was segregated beaches, of course, and yeah, they were segregated beaches. And it's important because D.A. Dorsey, the significance is D.A. Dorsey had some land that he bought. He bought Fisher Island, which is, as you know, like one of the, richest zip codes in not only South Florida, but in the country. And once he lost that land, it kind of like, there was no place for like people to go, for a beach. And he wanted Fisher Island, to be, for black beaches. And that was one of the things.
Can you imagine that though? Like, can you fucking imagine like Fisher Island being the beach that black people go to? Like today, like to me, my brain can't even fathom that.
Yeah. And exactly. And so when he came on, economic hardship, and he had to unfortunately sell that land to the county, I believe. No, he didn't sell it to the county. I'm sorry. And that's what ended up becoming, what we know now as Fisher Island. Architect, I think his name's like Andrew Fisher or something like that. And then fast forward, so at that time there was nowhere for like blacks to go, and unofficially there was all these little small beaches. And because there was these two small beaches, I mean not two small beaches, but there was various like small beaches, unofficial beaches, and there was no designation. And basically they, the community, black folk wanted a designated beach just for us. And, that became Virginia Key. It was originally called Bears Cut. And then it was Virginia Beach and then Virginia Key. So yeah, that's the history in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Of why it's important and why people like Father Gibson and others that are, our history, black history, these are people who fought for our rights in this city, NAACP and others. And I think it's important, and when we look at economically, just one thing I guess I want to say is just like, when I look at issues as not only a media person, but a community member, a civically engaged person, I think about, is it right morally? Is it right socially amongst us? Like, what do we think? What do we think? Is it right politically? Is it right economically? You know what I mean? Like, so I think about all those things. Is it right? Or is it fair? Or this is just is it the way it is, or is the way it's been going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's how I kind of look at, a lot of these issues, and how I've grown to kind of like articulate where my thoughts are on the issue.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is this, from my interviews and my research and just reading up on this, for a lot of people, especially people who are of a certain age, like my mom used to tell me about Virginia Key Beach and that being the place that they went to as kids, even, past segregation, it was still a place that black people went to. But also too, I was hearing about the baptism.
Was one of the
different activities that were out there. Like this was like holy ground for a lot of black people in Miami. The place where they had different activities and events and all these things that would happen there. So the history is rich. And so I totally understood, like, once it got on my radar, I was like, oh snap, like they trying to take this away from the black community. Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, everybody knows that's, for better lack of better terms, that's our beach. Like, what do you
exactly exactly. And so a lot of, and this, the landscape is changing. And what's so crazy is, politically, now we're talking about government, it's three different situations, right? So we already named Commissioner King, but there's it's Commissioner King. There's in my opinion, there's King, Carollo, and Ken Russell, the three commissioners on the board. That's the three main kind of like people on the dais that we need to be concerned with. Not that the other people don't matter, but the beach, I believe, sits in Ken Russell's district. You feel me? It's an issue as the chairwoman of the board and being the only black person, black woman, black person on the board. To black people, this is why this is an issue, and that's why we coming to her. That's why, different things are coming to her. And then Carollo, I don't want to say he's sponsored because I don't want to speak out of, incorrectly. But I want to say he had some initiatives, and a lot of these initiatives, like the homelessness, and other things, were kind of like his things that he kind of like wanted. So these are 3 different players in the situation, and it's just a lot going on. And for me, I'm just like, we wanted a black museum. So back to the call I was on and the production I did to record the video, it was about supporting a black museum. And for the longest, I didn't even know that we even had money earmarked for a black museum.
Who knew before all of this? Just thought it was the park I go to for Now Fest.
Yeah, so I didn't know that we even had money earmarked, and that was that was a thing for me, and that's an important factor, right? Because just because it was earmarked doesn't mean that it's actually coming down, right? Frederica Wilson, because I've been watching City Miami, and I was privy to doing some other stuff with the Bahamian, the Bahamian heritage down here. They got money earmarked for a museum as well, just to put that out there. Yeah, and the Congresswoman federally got some money earmarked for that. And that's just, this is what I know the information, so why not put it out there? It's not like it's public record. She said it on the day as that day. It's the videos on Trappin Ain't Dead Podcast, Facebook, so you can check it out. All Like Minds Media. I believe so. I think it's on All Like Minds Media rather than Trappin Ain't Dead. I'm sorry. It's on All Like Minds Media. And so with that being said, man, it's just like, it's a lot of different moving parts. And I wanted to discuss and kind of like decipher a lot of the confusion that was going on, and like people, like other people was hitting me up, like Olympic. And I actually went on his show and kind of like did, spoke on it a little bit too. So yeah, it's just a lot of different points, a lot of things that raise your eyebrow, and a lot of things that need to be cleared up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think people also too are kind of like, well, how did this group get ousted? How do we have a majority black trust that's managing the oversight of this park and the potential development of this museum? And how do they get to a point of where they no longer have their jobs? And keep in mind, these are volunteer positions. These are positions that have been in existence in the Connection athlete range and a couple of other pioneers in Miami. They established this trust, right, Munch? And so it was supposed to be for the oversight and management of the park, and also to develop this. And so essentially what happened is, Chris, and I'm trying to like break it down. It's like,
it's a lot of moving parts. Okay,
let's just from what I heard, I'm gonna just motherfucking say it. Okay,
fuck it. And that's the thing. That's the thing. We can report it and we can be fair. I think people got to get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it come to us, I think, we don't want to offend nobody. We don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But it's 3 sides to every fucking story. Yeah. You feel me? It's the truth, a lie, and the facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's 3 sides. And so we can have our opinion on it, and we gonna say this is our opinion. But hey, this is the fact that, like, this is a fact. This is what happened on the dais. And you know what I'm saying? So yeah, fuck that. Trappin Ain't Dead.
I mean, so from what was reported factually, Christine King put forth a resolution to help me out, Munch. It wasn't to disband the board.
No, she wanted members. So basically,
but she wanted control over it, right?
Yeah,
over the commission, right?
Because there was already plans in place, and I got it in my notes. But there was already plans in place, right? And that's what raised eyebrows and concern because, and then initially, what brings it forth to today is Carollo. Like I said, when you talk about the players, Carollo had these initiatives talking about the homelessness, and they wanted to move them not to Virginia Key, but a site that was north of Virginia Key, right? And the fact that it was north of Virginia Key, they can be coming on the homelessness, it can drift over there to them. And they didn't have no input, and that was their concern. They didn't have no input. And before, that was a contaminated site. So why would y'all put people and build tiny homes in a contaminated site? Mm-hmm. So, it's a human rights issue more than it is politically, depending on how you look at it and who's on what side. You know?
And so at some point, there was in the process of all of this, what's going to happen in Virginia Key Beach, that it was put out at a commission meeting that the current trust was having mismanagement of funds, and they did
it was malfeasance.
And
I'll touch on that. Go ahead. My bad.
And so from there, they did a report. It came back and said that, and from malfeasance is mismanagement of funds, right? Or
It could be a number. It's
very what? We'll give Munch a second here to reconnect, guys. Okay, we'll give Munch a second here to come back in. Okay, having a connection issue. But while he's waiting to come back, okay, so we lost him. He's going to come back in. But while we're waiting for Munch to come back, so back to okay, here go Munch. There you go. Hey.
I'm coming back.
You're back on the screen. Okay, we lost him again. Look, when you listening to this on the audio, we're gonna have all this edited out. But y'all bear with us. Y'all bear with us. It's our first night back recording together and figuring this out. So we all good. It's all good.
All right. I don't know what happened.
And then but it's all good. And look, I like somebody to put this because this is exactly what happened. And if you see Facebook viewers on the screen, if you're in our Facebook group for whatever reason, it doesn't show your name and your picture. It just will show us your comment. But we have a commenter who said what Joe Carollo said was someone got caught with their hands in a cookie jar. To me, that means stealing. So even though malfeasance may cover a couple of things, to me, the insinuation was that people were not doing right by the money that they were supposed to be a steward of. And when they did the report, it came back that was not true.
Yeah, and exactly.
I think that's really fucked up that nobody has addressed that, apologized for that. And to me, that was almost part of the basis of how this board they lost their job.
Ousted. Yeah. And the thing about it is that what I was saying before I my dearly departure. What I was saying was that malfeasance is a very broad term, like from what it was explained to me it's based on accounting. When you think about, and let's break it down to Trappin Ain't Dead, just break it down. Accounting, like when we talk about what an audit is a breakdown of the numbers. So when you say hands in a cookie jar, that may be a possibility, but at the end of the day, and then you got to talk about how it's worded when they do their report, right? And so when you saying malfeasance in the report and you read in malfeasance in the report, but then when you come back, you know, and you say the same auditor comes back and says, "Oh, that's not true." The damage already been done.
Exactly.
So in the words of somebody, and you know, last night, restore the fucking trust. They fucking lied. They fucking lied.
First of all, that was a public meeting. We're gonna say who said what at that meeting. That was Brother Leroy getting the people together. I'm glad he snapped like that, because honestly, you know, once I thought about it too and put it in the context, when you think about what was said and you put that, let's lay that shit out. As Black people, what they always saying when they appoint us to positions like this, you don't know how to manage it, you're gonna steal money. So
do we want to name names? Johnny Jones. From way back with the school board. Like, don't make me have to start going there. So, like, but it's been going, like, it's been going on since then. They've been doing this every time they say, oh, it was a lie, or it was this, or it was that. And sometimes it's just a complaint. You know what I'm saying?
And so to me, when you put that on, to me,
Black
people,
somebody said it wasn't even a real report. Y'all seen you put it up there?
Oh yeah, I wish I wonder. Put your name next to the comment.
I wish, you know, but yeah, they said it wasn't even the real report. So
yeah, and to me, there's a racial undertone in that as well.
Yeah.
When you say somebody is a thief and they're stealing, and to me, I feel like a public apology from the people on that day is, at the very least, needs to happen. And here's the thing: how do you take these people out of their position based off of saying that there was malfeasance, but then a report comes back to say it isn't? Then you move the goalposts and say, well, you didn't do anything for 18 years. But then the people are saying, hey, we've been trying to get stuff done. We've been trying to work with the county and with the city, but you guys have not been paying attention to us or approving the plans that we have for this museum. And so I'm almost like, I really want to speak to Christine King, because I'm almost like, why? What is the reason? Why did the trust, the people who are on that trust board, why did they no longer need to be on that board anymore? And that still hasn't been a clear answer to me from Christine King.
Yeah, exactly. And so it leads me, anytime this happens, and you know, they probably won't fuck with me no more, but fuck them, because they don't pay me no way. I don't work with them no way already, right?
They don't give us no money anyway.
Exactly. So it's like this. Anytime I look at situations, like I say, I go back to morally, is it right? Socially, is it right? Politically, is it right? Economically, is it right? And so when you look at politics is the distribution, is the people who control and distribute the economics. Right? They control and distribute the distribution of wealth. And so when you look at that and they make policy decisions based on that, it's just like, come on, bro. like y'all lied, bro. Like y'all lied, and y'all made an economic decision, a political decision to do it,
Yeah. And I think that's why the community needs to be outraged, and they need to care, and they need to follow this, because if this could happen here, first of all, it's been happening to us like this, but we got to get to the point that we tired of this shit. We're going to organize.
Yeah.
We're going to be vocal. We're going to stay on you, and we're going to vote you out if you do shit like this to us. And so the other end of this, let's just call, I want to
follow the money. That's what I was trying to say. Follow the fucking money.
Follow the money. And to me, I think that's a big play. But let me tell you what the other side has been saying. The people who I wouldn't say are pro against the board getting ousted, but didn't really see a problem with it.
Yeah.
So
I spoke to some folks on that too.
Yeah. There are people who saying were saying that the trust took too long. 18 years is too long.
Yeah.
For y'all to figure out how to build that museum. What took y'all so long? Also, too, there are people who saying, people who were on the trust didn't want to have development out there, didn't want the hotel and have this be almost like a Black Bayside for us. And they're like, they're hoping that with this new appointments from the City of Miami Commission with their new makeup, because once they ousted the board, and correct me if I'm wrong, Munch, that now each commissioner sits on the board, and they can appoint people as well.
And she got 2, so now it went from 5. She wanted to make 5 appointments to and do so much, and to her getting only 2, because all the rest of them, she initially said, well, shit, they coming to me, let me control it, I want 5, and that was the whole meeting. And then they was like, hold on, no, we want some too. So
that's how we got.
That's how it flipped. And then they wanted 2, and they wanted 2 people on the board. I mean, and then so to make it more. Either way, they wanted King has 2 votes. You feel me? So that she can make to put people in favor of what we would like it to be, in favor of Black folk and Black folk interests.
Yeah, and so now the City of Miami commissioners, they're sitting on the board and they get to appoint 2 additional people, correct?
Say it again.
Do the City of Miami commissioners, they're the people that sit on the trust board now for Virginia Key Beach.
Yeah.
And then
they get to elect. They get to
and they get to appoint people.
Yes.
Okay. So once they appoint people, do they no longer sit on the board?
That's something I'm not sure.
And that's something
but at the end of the day, the people who pretty much are appointed by them, and this is just how appointments work. You think about Trump and judges, is in how he stacked all the judges to align with Republican interests. So now when we trying to do things strategically, we can't. So that's what appointments are for. You appoint people within your district who align with your interests.
Yeah.
And so that's just the political matter of it. That's the game. You know what I mean? In a nutshell.
And that's why this is such a devastating thing to have this majority community-based board now flip to commissioner appointed board.
Exactly.
Because before we had people from the community
and it was initially to give it a second, it was initially a task force, right? And so it was initially a community task force that turned into the board, that the formation of the actual trust. And so that is rooted, the actual trust who governs what's going on is rooted in making sure and ensuring, the community, and they've been trying to uphold the community's interests, and what they want.
And now we lose that with the city appointed board.
Exactly.
That Christine King pretty much threw the wrench in. And so somebody approached me and was like, well, this group of people don't want to have development there. This group of people don't want this to be, and this could be for Black people. And now, maybe this group, the Black Miami-Dade, should be trying to work with the City of Miami Commission.
City of Miami to
be one of the people that they appoint.
So we can have equity.
Yeah. And so I see both sides of it, but I don't like the way it happened. I feel like, here's the thing. Was there not a way for the ousted Virginia Key Beach board to just be replaced with other people from the community? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's been other board members in that time.
People felt like if the City of Miami Commission felt like they weren't doing a good job, why not just replace them or whatever that process is?
It really just happened. It really was a recent thing. You get what I'm saying? It didn't just start overnight where the county had all this control and had all this insight. And so, not insight, but all this like oversight. And it was a bit of a process. And so there was a gap in time where the park was closed, and then you had the trust that was active again. In 1999, the trust was established, and pretty much a charrette was performed based, and a master plan was created and adopted by the City of Miami. Right. And then in 2004, the GOB, the General Obligation Bond, they got $15 million earmarked for a Black museum. And so when you take all that into account, and then they said it went out for bid, the late 2000s, like from the research I did, they had got renderings developed. So this is just the process of how to get the museum and the development of the museum. And they got the development, the renderings developed. It went out for a bid, but when it went out for a bid, somehow, and this happens, this is the political process, right? Somehow, the architect that was chosen, they found that the process, he was selected improperly, you know? And so this happens a lot of times. This happens specifically with the new bridge, signature bridge that we supposed to be getting in Overtown. The same thing happened with a black contractor, you know, was was against all the major developers. Okay. And basically he scored they score is 2 factors to the score. There's 2 criteria to these scores when they put out these proposals. And sometimes this is, so you have to do the tech, like the design was a score, got scored, and I think the actual like durability and the structural analysis of it is evaluated as well. And so a lot of times they'll say, hey, well, they scored low on this, but they scored high on this, you know, and they'll weigh out the scores, and then that's how they get it. And then they got people on the board, and this is what lobbying is. And when you talk about community, we talk about who's picking what. Like, they appointing people on these boards that's in control. And, you know, we can point the finger, but we not at the table. And that's largely why we on the menu, because we got, you know, we got small people at the table. We scattered in all these different places, and nobody's discussing. And that's why I feel like Trap is like so needed, because it's like we got the insight. Fuck it. Like, all right, you know, we ain't trying to align interests with nobody. We just trying to tell the truth and do the right thing by the community, you know. And that's why I feel that's where I'm at with it.
And you know, I really do love this this comment that Eugene Clapp put in the Facebook group is, and I'll read it out for people who may be listening. You know, what's lost in all of this is that the commissioners are servants of the people. The call to recall and remove King must start now, point blank. It's a takeover. Had it not been for the individuals fighting for the circle, hearing about the plight of Virginia Key and joining the fight back then, we wouldn't have not gotten the trust in the first place. And that's real talk. I feel like this too, at the basis of it, commissioners and Christine King is a part of that. When the community said, hey, we don't want y'all to remove this is against everything that we want. Why is the Black community so easily to be ignored? Because I can't see this happening with the Hispanic community down here, the Cuban community. There's no way in hell they will let us build their monument to their museum. They're not letting us have say in that. So why are our pleas and what we want so easily dismissed and so easily put to the side? And we're so easily called thieves or liars, or we're not handling things right, so you could take over our shit. And I think that's why the community really needs to be tapped into this. Also, to the power play of that board. When someone broke it down to me, we talk about Black economics and equity. Having that board being able to choose who are the people on that project and go through that whole process, that's power in that. That's how we're able to get these contracts and work on these things. And we're able to ask for certain benefits for people in our community. We could say, you know, you have to say zip codes or different things like that, but you could put that into the play when you're in control. Now we don't know what that's going to look like without community being
at the center of it.
Yeah. And that's why that's a part of the upset here too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and go ahead.
And no, I think for a lot of people too, you know, we gave the background on like kind of what happened. If anybody in the comments want us to kind of go into anything else, please let us know. But I definitely want us, you know, as we're hitting this kind of like halfway mark, that meeting yesterday, because that was recapped yesterday. But you know, I guess because I'm thinking about some of the stuff that happened, you know, I'm laughing. So we also want to give people a recap who couldn't attend and kind of break down what happened in the meeting yesterday to update the community on what the action plan is to get the Virginia Key Beach Trust restored. Munch, I'll let you kick it off with how about this? What did you think about that meeting yesterday?
Restore the trust. Restore the fucking trust. Them people told a lie. They fucking lied. That's what I think about it. That was all I needed in the meeting. I could have sat there and been sitting there and I got my thoughts on it and everything, you know. But I was just like, I was waiting for it. That was what I was waiting for. Like, what's the real deal? You know, what are we fighting for? Like, when we sit in this meeting, they fucking lied, restore the trust, and all this other extra shit around it don't matter.
That's
you
true.
Feel me?
That's true. That's it. And you know what? When Mr. Leroy broke that shit down, it was like, y'all ain't mad that they lied on us, lied on people that look like us.
He made it plain and fucking simple.
He was like, they from the community, these volunteers, they lied, use that as an excuse to get them out of there, and we don't care.
And what hit me is, and so this is the point. So when we talk about racism and we talk about, or it had racial undertones, that over that span of 18 years, you know how many black folk, like, you lied on Dr. P, Dr. Ene Pinkney, you feel me? And she been from Hampton House to Virginia Key to everywhere else. She been going around trying to preserve, historically preserve these places, these different places that we had, or we still have. And so, that means you lied on her, you lied on Gene Tenney, you lied on M. Anthony Range. You get what I'm saying? You lied on everybody who sat on that board. It ain't just because we can't just say the recent people you lied on. You lied.
And I think also too, because, and I put this, I don't know Christine King personally. I don't know her. I don't have nothing against her. We still even cover her stuff on Hollow News. So I don't, if her people, because to me, I don't know.
I don't,
ain't no personal shit. I just feel like this, Miss King, are you not listening to what the community is saying that they want? And why is that so easily for you to ignore? Is there some political stuff in there? Did they not support you when you were running? Like, I'm almost like, what's the background with this? And why is it being done so nasty? But I also feel like this at some point too, I really feel like this. I feel like there's some ego involved. And I'm not saying on what side, but it kind of feels like you did this to me, so I'm going to do this to you. I'm not going to work with you. I'm not going to listen to you. And I feel like at what point do each side say, fuck all this shit? Because at the base of it, the community is the one that's fucking suffering. We gotta figure this shit out to work together. So, because here's the thing, Christine, you black, baby. Everybody, y'all black, baby. They don't give a fuck about none of us. So then we gonna come together and be like, okay, let's figure this out so we can move forward. Because at this point, I feel like it's a standstill. It feels like at least from my take from the meeting, it feels like we finna keep coming. It's like us
at the same conclusion.
Yeah,
you feel me? And so my issue. Well, I don't really have an issue. I just sat there and listened. That was my thing. Like, I don't like to. I try to come with an open mind and just listen to what the fuck was going on. And I heard the same thing that I had been hearing for like months. You know what I'm saying? And so my issue was like a lot of the messaging was like misguided from the beginning. You know what I mean? Just media messaging, communications, just in general. It's just like, it was just fuzzy. And like, it was like, once stuff started getting put out there, it was like, oh, we trying to clear this up. You know what I mean? And so now it like I said before, it just made me be like, man, what the fuck y'all got going on? Like, y'all really, are y'all really here for the people, or do y'all really got some other shit going on? And so that's what like, I'm just a realist. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's how I think. I don't necessarily have group think like a lot of folk. I just think outside the box. And, it just made me think like, what is going on? Because I see this person over here. I see these people. And I'm like.
And I mean, I don't know if you hear this type of talk, and I'm like, I'm gonna try. I ain't gonna say no names, but people start calling people dog face. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, I'm not with the name calling and all that shit. Like, let's
the name calling. You get into the coons and calling people
all that
hoes
shit. Yeah.
They do. And I'm like, and to me, it sounds like high school shit. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it's fucked up that what happened with the trust. But I'm almost like, okay, this is what I'll say this. Because, we've been heavy on one side. I'm going to say this critical. And I actually had a conversation with some of the leaders about this. I did not like that there was not a clear plan besides show up to this meeting on Thursday.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Let's protest. It wasn't a clear plan, a clear organized, like I was expecting to come in and be like,
it's just show up to the meeting and
I was expecting a plan like this what we got, and if this don't work, this is what we got to do, and this is this committee gonna do this. We need people to sign up to do this, and it wasn't. There was a lack of organization. Also, too, it felt like younger people. There were a few younger people who spoke, and it felt like some of their ideas or things that they were bringing to the table was a little bit dismissive. It felt a little dismissive.
It felt that way, yeah.
And we're not saying that that's what y'all trying to do. I just think sometimes older people, especially the elders, and you've been in business or you've been doing stuff for a long time, you kind of feel it gives off the air of, I know what I'm doing, y'all just follow me. Yeah. It was given that.
Yeah. And for me, for I got peoples, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm leaning to one side or the other, because I got folks. Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. And I got a few friends on that side that's family. You know what I'm saying? Family to me and family to them.
On the Black Miami Dade.
On both sides. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, at the end of the day, it's black first. I understand we all got interests. We all got this, that, and the third. But when you talking about overall, we finna lose overall because of this shit. At some point, we got to be like, all right, dog. And it's just been patterns. And I think what I didn't like is, or what I should say is, like, on King's side, because I would have wanted to hear you come out, like, there's supposed to be a meeting, a public meeting, and there was no meeting. So I was waiting for that. And so when these things happen, it don't look good. I'm not saying you're a horrible person, because I've been around you. I'm not gonna go into further detail how I've been around because I do audio video production. Let's just be real. I be around everybody. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And so you have these relationships. So it's just not, I'm not gonna sit up here and say I don't, or I don't know them personally. They don't come to my house, I don't go to theirs. So that tell you the extent of that. But we know, you know what I'm saying? We come, you know what I mean? Like that and people try to put those things on you just because you was over here with these people in the picture. Like, y'all photo up with fuck niggas every day. For a little bit of nothing.
But see, Munch, I feel like sometimes the elders and the people in these power positions, they go at it, and we get into these kind of stalemate things where we don't get nothing done.
We don't get shit done.
Because it feels personal, as if like they go home with each other every night. I'm like, is there some shit we don't know about? Because I'm like, why you this mad? For me, as a person in business and being a reporter, I felt like I've had to get to the point where I'm like, these not my friends. I'm cool with you. I may kiki with you. I may even have a deep conversation with you. But I had to learn of these people. A lot of these people in Black Miami and Black South Florida, they're not my friends. They're not my day ones. They're not people I go to. And so at the end of the day, I could put certain shit to the side, because even some of the people that even hit me up for this story, we don't really fuck with each other. We don't even think we even really like each other. But at the end of the day, we understood this needed to get done. And I feel like sometimes that the people in these power positions kind of get stuck in some of the personal shit where they don't get stuff done because they get too into their feelings. I get it. Sometimes people hit below the belt and some lines are crossed. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like even with that,
we don't have a general respect for one another.
Yeah, like and I feel like that's missing.
And that's the issue. That's the root of the issue. And I see Clap in the comments. I don't know if you want to put that comment up, but he in a comment, he's saying some real shit. A lot of people is scared. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to you. Am I scared? No, I don't give a fuck. Personally, that's why I say I ain't got no interest in it. Let's go. Y'all tell me what the fuck to do. If we got a plan, let's roll. That's how the fuck I go. But I ain't gonna align with some shit I just don't agree with. I don't gotta join an organization. All I gotta do is show up to the fucking meeting, show up the way I can show up. This how I can show up.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's young and it's old people. This how we showing up. Y'all want to go to the fucking news media. We go on the social media. This what the fuck we do. So even in the sense of we feel differently about the meeting. You see where we at. You know what I'm saying? And that's the effort. And we was asking last night about that shit. Like, what y'all, we on go time. Like, so when people say scared, nah, dog. I did this shit before. I've been on the ground. I know what this shit is. I'm still here. I'm still in the fucking hood, yo. Same address, still same day one niggas. Same shit. When people talk about the fucking demographic of this shit, y'all talking about fucking me. When y'all talk about fucking millennials, got working poor, got jobs, y'all talk about me. I'm here. I'm at every black fucking facility there is. I spent 10, 15 years in the county working at African Heritage Culture Arts Center. I'm just talking my shit because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm the person laying it down saying, young and old, fuck the bullshit, let's put it down. Take this clip, record this shit, screenshot it, do what the fuck you gotta do, because that's what the fuck I'm on. That's what the fuck I've been on. I tell everybody the same shit when I see them in the street. When I leave the fucking meeting, when I leave this meeting, I go straight to the fucking corner store, Midway, Bawa, and all that, so you know where I'm at. I'm that same one since I was a jit doing this shit, man. And I ain't taking it personal because I know Clap, one of my, you know, he a rock boy. You feel me? So I ain't taking it personal, but I'm just saying, all this, that's why we did it, because I'm sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of the bullshit. I've been here 10, 15 years. I don't need 30 years to see this shit. I grew up in the city, dog. Played for Liberty City, dog. Under Coach Sam. Coach Sam era. You know what I'm saying? I've been in Liberty City for a long fucking time. I seen this shit. Since 89, I've been in this shit. And I seen it. I seen the good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that man scared when he the only one talking. He the only one fucking talking. I got my feelings on that shit too. I got my feelings on that shit too. But he the only one talking. Had it not been for him, this shit wouldn't have got nowhere. You know what I'm saying? This shit wouldn't have got nowhere. You talking to a nigga that 12 years old, I was sitting there talking to Janet Reno in my uncle's living room. You know what I'm saying? The same one. Y'all know. So like, come on, bro. When Elion got kicked out, that's the type of shit I'm on. I'm just tired of that shit. I'm sick of it. And Liberty City gone. That's just a dead honest truth. Unincorporated Dade, that shit fucking damn near gone. That shit zombie land. That's where the fuck I'm at. So you can't tell me no different because I'm living this shit. Y'all niggas ain't here. Y'all niggas ain't fucking here, man. I'm here. When the gunshot go off, when the siren go off, when the killer down the street, when the Jack boys, you gotta look, I'm here. And that's the bad shit. But when the good shit happen, when we give it back to the community, we feed, when the Roots giving back 6 days a week at the fucking village. You know what I'm saying? That's what the young niggas doing. 6 days a week we at the fucking village. Then you got V, she feeding the homeless. So if it's a fucking problem, we at the ground level. And that's why I'm you know, I was trying not to get here because I'm just sick of this shit, man. And it's sometimes it's spiritual, it's energy, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, like the lady said last night, and I believe her. It's spiritual warfare, man. We moving against some different forces, dog. And it ain't all physical because we gotta, what you see ain't what you heard. And what you heard ain't probably what you saw. So we all sense ain't common, and we got to make this shit make sense. Talk to each other. That's the only way this shit gonna make sense. I'm just sick of this old versus young, pointing the finger at a black person. Fuck that. Let's just say, all right, give them a chance. Everybody. We got 4 fucking commissioners on the county right now. Transportation. You see what the fuck Gilbert trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like with the transportation shit, we ain't saluting him for that shit, but as soon as he fuck up, we mad. Yeah, that's my be me brother. I don't give a fuck.
First of all, you know I love when you're.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate the whole affiliations because everybody got fucking affiliations, man. So that's why I'm putting it out there. Like, man, I'm just sick of it because it's we don't get no fucking where, bro. I seen this, man. I seen this. I see this shit day in, day out. When we talk about impact, I seen them come in with the slum and blight studies. the unincorporated Miami-Dade. That's how long I've been in this shit. I talked to Sarah when we was, and I told people, I went around to the Beans. I put surveys out there. And I said, we lose the heart of the city, which is the Beans, the highest point of elevation for us, and what the fuck we talking about? This shit over. That was 2016 when I started this fucking podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. So I know we can go here all day. I could go back and forth and say, toot my horn about what I did and what this, that, and the third. And we all done been on a ground level. We all did our things. Fuck it. Let's drop the ego and say, look, black first, black equity.
And but also too, to a point, especially back to Clap's point about public servants and people we elect to office. Let's try to work with them as much as we can. But if a bitch, and this is not even calling Christine a bitch, I'm just saying bitch in general. If a bitch don't want to work, then you vote their ass out. Let's keep this same anger, this same energy, and mobilize and show their ass our power. Show them that we vote your ass in and we'll vote your ass out. If you don't do what we want, what we need, what the community says we need, and that's what I was hoping that this issue with Virginia Key Beach kind of gave us an example to mobilize, to organize here in Miami. And I still feel like we have the opportunity to do that. And I don't feel like all hope is lost on both ends, but I also feel like this: when people don't want to listen to you, you teach people how to treat you in any relationship.
Yeah.
And if a bitch don't hear you and they don't respect your boundaries, you fucking leave. And in this case, in this scenario, how we leave with elected officials is we vote your ass out. We don't keep taking this bullshit from you. And I think that's what needs to happen. And I agree with you. The young and the old and all this other stuff. And it gotta stop. Because here's the thing, we're willing and we're ready to go, and y'all not using us. Y'all not using that energy that we have. And here's the thing that happened on the call, Munch, that we could get to.
Yeah.
It was said that they're afraid that the other side is sending spies in or people to steal their ideas. So that's part of the reason why they haven't laid out a grand plan. And when the spam box came in yesterday, people were seeing that as
and the reason I'm so upset about all of this is months ago, right? Because we talking, I think this happened in October, late October, early November. Right? Late October, early November, I offered services to make sure this happened. You feel me? I offered services. So we don't have to take control. I'm saying here, we don't want the control.
Can we be included in the can we bring our energy to it? Can you be receptive to us bringing in ideas and working with you? Because like you said, as an elder, you got wisdom, you got life on me and shit that I don't know about when it comes to this. But don't just ignore me or don't include me in it at all, especially when I'm right here saying I want to help.
Yeah, and we it's like, what else do we do? So it leads us to this, right? That we got to do stuff like this. Like, we just going to use our platforms to do what we got to do, And another factor, that was addressed in the comment section.
I'll say this, that Mr. Leroy, in regards to working with younger people, Mr. Leroy and some others have
Ruben
been saying,
Roberts and others, they work. There's a lot of people who reach out. We're not saying y'all don't reach out.
They want to bring in younger people to the coalition. And what I was told even today, right before we got on, is that they're open to it. They said they possibly may not be able to tell the whole community every play-by-play, but they do want to work with more people so that we could be more organized and get stuff done.
Yeah, because as you seen last night, I ain't say nothing. I ain't got shit to say. I'm listening. Every time you ain't got to speak, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, let me sit back, dog. You feel me? Let me sit back and let me listen to what y'all got to say. I'm taking y'all. That's me taking the lead from y'all. You know what I mean? And so then we talked about, just like you brought up
this? This comment on the screen that said that niggas don't even use the beach.
Yeah, and
I don't give a fuck if we don't use it. Don't take it from us.
Yeah. So the whole thing is, and that's a big issue too, right? We don't use the beach. Like we don't we haven't been using the beach, but I think it's largely about when you think about Miami as a destination city, right? And you think about the amenities that we have in this city. Like when you think about what Miami really truly has to offer as an experience, like if you like I had to get out of that as a Miami person. You get comfortable and you don't appreciate like, yo, we had this, we had that. Do you realize the Sears that's in Aventura was Sears and Roebuck in Liberty City before the riots? You get what I'm saying? Like all of these things was in our community. These movie theaters, these drive-ins, all of that was in our community. You feel me? All of that was in our community, and we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't appreciate and we don't value these things until unfortunately it's like it's too late and they already see the value. You know what I'm saying? And they put us here. You feel me?
Yeah, they put us on that beach. So
not so much they put us there. That was one of the places we went. But the thing is, another reason to address it, going back to address it, is the fact that the geographic location and how you have to get to the beach, get to Virginia Key, right? And so the only way to get there for some time, and I think there is still some difficulty, is you got to get on a boat from the dock to get there. And so these are things that we need to be concerned with. You know, it's things that we can address it, but we need to also be concerned with. And I always wanted to be this, like, always wanted this podcast to kind of like talk about the next step and talk about what we need to be doing. Like, we need to be on all these boards. It ain't just Virginia Key Trust. It's Hampton House. Mm-hmm. It's African Heritage Cultural Arts Center. It's Little Haiti Cultural Arts Center. It's these Mocha museums, these art museums, and all this stuff that's doing Black art and all these different things. All of these things control the economics. These boards is what controls the economics, at least from my observation. A lot of the movers and shakers move a lot through these boards. And so when you look at that and these affiliates and these associations, we have to be able to align interests through these things. And that's why I kind of like just choose to be, I'm out of all of it, because I'm just like, I'm a connector. You know, I'm in a lot of different places, and I'd rather just connect, you know, and bring people from point A to point B. You know what I mean?
Oh, I want to sit on some boards now.
But I want to sit on some boards. Don't get me wrong. I want to sit on some boards.
For that.
No, I'm talking about. I think I'm more talking about like politically, social, political stuff. I rather like I do a lot of stuff in the arts world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So, you know, but that's one of the things that I guess when we talk about growth and future growth, that's one of those things. Like now, I think I'm mature enough, like, because I did serve on Model City for some time, for a short period of time, and other things that I was trying to do when I was younger. It was a lot, and to me, I'm just put it out there. I ain't gonna say I wasn't ready. It just was a lot to take in, and morally with me, it was just a lot of things didn't sit with me, and I just ain't like what was going on. So I need to get me right in order to be able to deal with these situations and go through these situations to be able to fix it. You know what I mean? Rather than being a young person, kind of learning and trying to maneuver through the process at the same time, you know.
Yeah. And so also too, just to go back to the recapping of the meeting, the community meeting yesterday, you know, as this comment is saying, there's a big push, and even we want the people watching and people here to share that there is a City of Miami Commission meeting this Thursday at 9 a.m., January 12th, where they want as many people as possible to pack that out. And if you can't, Hilo News will be putting up an article with more information on how you can be involved in different ways. But there's ways for you to do. You could call in or do a virtual comment. If you can't attend, they want people to call the commissioners. And so we'll be making that information public for people, so that if you want to be involved, you don't have to live in the city of Miami to voice your concerns about this. But this is one of the main things that they're saying right now. This is what the group Black Miami Dade is pushing for. For the community to help them and support them in this, and that there'll be some next steps after that. And I'll just, you know, be reporting back as much as I know as possible. But like I was saying, I think a part two, and I get it. There have been people who all skin folk ain't your kin folk.
Oh,
people
yeah. Tupac said it best.
People who will sit in meetings who'll go back and work against you. And so I do understand the groups, Black Miami Dade groups.
Yeah.
kind of being I would say secretive or holding stuff tight to the chest, because we got spammed with bots yesterday during the meeting where people were saying nigga, nigga, nigga. There was like pornography being shown.
All type of shit.
All type of shit. That happens in Zoom meetings. Some people feel like that we'll just say the opposition, because I don't even want to put that on the
ops.
I won't put that on a specific person, even though people was naming names. I won't do that, because that has happened in other Zoom meetings that I was in. But people are saying that was an example of why the group can't be as public, or we as Black Miami who are trying to get shit done can't be as public as we want to, because we have people coming in and infiltrating and working against us and taking our ideas and countering them and moving against us. And I do think that happens on a level, but I also feel like too, you can't be so close to the chest where and actually Mr. Leroy said this really good today. He said, I think it was Brother Elijah Muhammad or one of the brothers said that you can't wake the people up and not give them something to do. Exactly. And that, to me, essentially what happened with this Virginia Key Beach issue. And I even made a comment about it on my Facebook page, even just coming back off of the break, which I heard influenced that meeting yesterday for them to even get on it quicker than they wanted to, because I was like, y'all got everybody attention. I got so many millennials, we speak to a millennial audience. I never even seen my audience in that age group care that much. I never seen people 20 to 35, 40 give a fuck about what's going on. And you had their attention and you went silent. And even if it was just updates or just telling them what was going on, I was like, you can't do that with our generation, because we're plugged in and you got to be updating us and letting us know what's going on.
Exactly.
Because we're going to think that this was all just for play, or y'all wasn't serious, or some backdoor deal got cut and y'all not telling us about it no more.
No, but it's not even so much like, the reality is these deals don't happen in real time. These deals happen over time.
But that's why I say even updates need to be given to us, like, hey, this is what happened. Whether it's a meeting or whatever, just put that out on social and have people like me and you push that to our community. But don't go silent for a month.
Yeah, and so that's some of the things that, like you said, like, don't go silent for a month. And it's just like, why are we not reaching out? Like, we literally reached out. Like, so what I got to do? Send you a follow-up email? Another one? So it's like, come on, bro. Like, I'm all for it. I'm all here. I'm all ears. And just like whatever you need me to do, is like, let's rock. You feel me? It ain't. I mean, I don't know. Clap talking about entitlement.
No, that ain't Clap saying entitlement. That's somebody else who hide behind Facebook user, and I gotta go in the group this, because you see, I don't know who they saying is entitlement, and Clap is getting back with them. Y'all go to the Hollow News Facebook group and see what's going on.
I want to see what that's about, because Clap, Rock Boys, we bought that community shit. You know what I'm saying? Rock Boys with it. You know what I mean? And so,
who was this saying the beach ain't been visited? Why is that such a issue for you about the beach and people going to it? First of all, let me tell you this. I may not go out there all the time. It's not my first beach, because I'm a North Dade resident. I'm not going to go to that beach anyway. But like you said, the transportation and getting out there. But when there are events, I'm going to concerts out there. And my class, Carroll City, class of 06, we have our picnics and our things out there for our specific class at that beach. So when we need to do something, and a lot of people in our community, when we need to host events like family reunions and picnics and class reunions, we go to Virginia Key Beach.
We send someone. I know Root sends kids to Virginia Key every summer for the last.
We may not be out there every week, but a lot of us are using that beach for things. So I'm just trying to understand about the using of the beach, and I want to know who it is. I'm about to go to the Facebook group to see who this is talking all this shit.
I mean,
I don't know who this is.
So somebody said they got two events deposited. They ready to go. See, that's what I'm saying. So all right,
that's Olympic.
That's Olympic. I ain't know who it was. It sounded like Olympic because I know his text. So I ain't just want to say it was him. I ain't want to say it was my dog.
Olympic saying if we don't use the beach, how do we expect any inclusion? What is that?
Yeah, but to his point, he right. And it's not so much he the ops, but it's the reality. If we not using it, you feel me? As a people, we need to make it beneficial, because that's not it's not wrong to do that either. It's plenty. They come in our communities and take over spaces and use it for what they want and bring their people in. Why can't we use that space and bring people in and we have equity over the land? Why we can't do the same thing? And so I understand where you're coming from to an extent, but I understand where you're coming from.
But here's the thing, Olympic, I'll say this. There is not going to be something that was managed by white, Jewish, Cuban people for their people be taken from them, whether they're out there using it or not, and they're not going to have a problem with it.
Exactly.
That's not going to be taken from them. So I get it. Can we be out there more?
Yes.
I think, yes, we can. That's fair to say.
Even myself, I'm guilty because I haven't, I'm going to be real. I haven't been out there like in a long time.
I don't care. Y'all ain't.
And I don't go. No, but my thing is, if we talk, we be real.
To Virginia Key Beach every time I want to get some fun in the sun.
Yeah, like I haven't been there, and I'm a person who, lately, my mental health journey has been going to the beach, because I'm in close proximity to it. But I go there often, to the water, and so going to Virginia Key is a.
But me and you live
on the boat
on the north end of the county. That ain't a question for me. My thing is this also too.
Can
there be more stuff out there being done? I think the trust needed to do a better job too of marketing what was out there, because I didn't know about. I think they have a trolley or a carousel out there. I didn't know that was out there, and so I think that people should know more about what's going on at Virginia Key Beach. But I also feel like if we're not using it in mass, that doesn't still mean that we shouldn't be the ones managing the trust. Yeah. I don't think those two correlate.
Yeah. And then when you think about land, and that goes back to like the three players, like I talk about the three different entities that's in this. Ken Russell, this is another factor, right? They already have, and this is what's going on at the board. They already have a hotel profit before the board. They already have that already a bit, like, so we talking about laws, bills, politics. They already have a bill profit for a hotel, a bid for a hotel to be profit to the city. So that's one thing, right? Ken Russell just stepped down for reasons unknown. And his seat is open.
He's the commissioner for that area.
From my understanding, he's commissioner for that area, but also the remaining Coconut Grove.
Ooh.
So, and Ken Russell was a quote unquote, in my understanding, was an ally. So that's an important seat. And then when you're talking about,
wasn't he the only vote against that too? I think he was the only.
It was his vote who kind of like, it was his vote. I want to say, I think it may have been. I don't know. I know it was 4-1.
It was one person, and I think it was
one person.
Was the only person who didn't approve of that.
Yeah,
ousting the Virginia Key
and from my understanding, and he's also the person in the district where they're putting that Bahamian museum. So here again, we got federal dollars earmarked.
Wait, so what you're saying is we have an opportunity to elect somebody who could be an ally to us in that position.
And then I can't remember how many seats are already up there. Oh, so he said he had to step down as per usual Florida law.
Oh, so he's running for a different seat. You said
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing too. I feel like we have an opportunity to come together to put the bullshit to the side based off of what was said at the meeting. So, and hats off to all these people who are coming together.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. And here's the thing: if there's any ulterior motives, fuck you. If y'all got something else going on, if y'all benefiting from stuff, or y'all just doing this because it looks shiny, I'm hoping that's not what's going on. But please know, as much as I'm on your side and willing to work with you now, I will fucking turn and tell everybody this is what we need to be doing.
I ain't with. I'm just like I said, I'm not with picking sides. I'm with picking the community and what's right. Because like I said, I got an internal thing. You know what I mean? Principles. Somebody said this earlier. It's principles over over politics. And it's like, is it morally right? You know, when we talk about the basis and these ideals, because that's how they start, ideas, thoughts, actions, feelings towards one another, interests, you know, do they align with mine? And if they don't, I'm not rocking with it. You know, I've done it plenty of times.
If it switches along the way, because that don't mean because today we went in alignment, and then later on you doing some shifty shit.
Yeah.
We ain't just gonna stick with you just cause. Fuck no. Like, because that's how we stay in this predicament.
Yeah, and I think we have an obligation as well as media people. You know,
I was just going to say, let's talk about the role of Black media in specifically in this issue and the greater issue of Black Miami and getting stuff done.
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. And so when you talk about the bigger issue, you know, like you said, we want to be involved. We want to be more involved. But I guess the question to everybody is going to be how, you know, and, you know,
I think, you know, but I would say speak to the fact of like Black media's role in all of this. And, you know, historically, we have been, you know, I'm Black press, you're Black press. I see Olympic is in the in the comments, Black media. Why did the coalition hesitate to go to Black media? I don't think they hesitated.
I don't think they hesitated. They went to particular members of Black media. Like I said, so when we talk about,
I was specifically sought out. I know I saw stuff in Miami Times.
Yeah.
I seen different Black media covering it. I just think that there should be more organization when it comes to it. Like I haven't gotten a press release yet. And here's the thing, I don't know if anybody in that group is doing that. There hasn't been photos and packages. Like to me, there's a disconnect in how to communicate with the media. And maybe somebody needs to be a little bit more media savvy in what's going on. I do know and the reason why we got, or at least I got contacted is because the PR girls had the contacts who were working with them. So like Suzanne, Ketchy, Maya was personally calling media people that they knew and was like, hey, can you come cover this? But to me, there needs to be a little bit more organization that can be done to make sure that Black media, because we're advocates as well, to make sure that we're involved, especially for smaller Black owned media. Like you got to meet us halfway. You can't expect me. I may not be able to afford to send a freelancer every single time y'all meet, but if somebody there with their phone, somebody recording that, send that to me. You send me a paragraph or email saying, hey, this is what happened, Janae. Can you cover this? Hey, this is what happened, Munch. Can you talk about this on the podcast? That goes a long way versus just telling me to come attend a meeting. I may not be able to go attend that meeting. I may not be able to afford to go attend that meeting as Black press, as independent press.
And I think I'm not a real press person. You know what I'm saying? Like you like I always tell you this, you more on the front end. I'm more on the back end. Well, I do production.
Stop playing.
But so I'm more on the production end. My whole thing, like I said, I've been on the ground in community, so people know me. When I go move and I say something, people, you know what I'm saying? People gonna respond. And like Rock the Block is saying, I reached out, like he reached out to me. You feel me? And that's because of those relationships. And I don't think he would have reached out to me had I not been already talking about this. You know, had I not already been doing work with him in the community, you know what I'm saying? And that's the relationship, and being more intentional and saying, hey, I got this going on. You feel me? And it's a lot of times with trap in past, you know, involvements or whatever engagements, it would be like y'all hitting me the day of, and we got 2 days to promo, and my shit drop on a Monday. So by the time I fucking even put it out, it's not effective. And my thing is, I want to make sure it's effective. It's impact and it's intentional. And if it ain't that, I can't. Like I'd rather not do it and just throw it out there if it's just gonna get thrown out there just to get thrown out there.
But you just said a key thing with that. Understanding how independent Black owned media operates, or having somebody in your organization, when no matter whatever they're doing, because if somebody understood that, then they would have known when 2 weeks before they planned this, we need to tell Munch right now so we can get this out. Or you can't call Janae the day before you going to you finna have a protest or you're going to do something at City Hall and think that I have the resources to cover that.
Yeah.
You can't hit me at 5 o'clock the day before thinking I could cover something that's going to happen 9 o'clock the next morning. That's not fair to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to scramble. I may not be able to cover it at all.
In the cycle and the way, these algorithms work, you're not even in the cycle until a day in, you know what I'm saying? 2 in sometimes, depending on what it is. So it's like, and depending on the content. And so we have to see the bigger picture. We will not have a black city of Miami commission in 2 more terms due to gentrification. Oh yeah, I hear what you're saying. And that's why I alluded to the whole Ken Russell seat because of that. That's why I alluded to D5. Liberty City is changing. That shit gone. I'm saying that because majority of folk live where? If they ain't in Miami Gardens, they in Broward County.
Yep,
I'm willing to bet majority of the people still in Broward County right now, and that's not by choice. That's by politics and economics.
I looked up the demographics of Broward County, and I think they have a larger number. I think then the definitely more than white people. I think they have a really, really large majority. I know they're a minority majority county, and I think black people almost probably lead their demographics there.
Yeah,
and you see it with the positions that they hold in Broward County.
And it's all about the various zip codes, right? And then let's touch on since we're here, let's touch on a more important factor, right? That happens, and when we talk about vote and we talk about process. This past election, before this past election happened, they call it the term y'all probably know is gerrymandering. But they redistrict, these areas, these different areas, that state zones. So now they have it, and they did it to align their interests. So various interests, and it shortchanges a lot of us, and it divvies up every time they do that. They kind of do it strategically to divvy up how much we got. And Trappin Ain't Dead terms is when John Doe came around, it was get down or lay down. You know what I'm saying? And when they said they wanted to move from out the city to go over here to here, that's when the war started. So the same thing happened to us. It's a cold war. It's a silent war. And on a statewide, they got federal zones, you got federal districts, you got state districts, and you got local districts. And all these things align. And so when the state district, you need state support on these local issues, right? Because the state, I think, is the person who, you have local designations is like historical overlays, but you got state historical overlays. You got federal designation and historical overlays. You get what I'm saying? So all of these things matter, in the grand context of Virginia Key Beach, but just all of Black Miami and what we own, like total GDP. Think about, when I think about us, this is just my frame of mind is, what are we producing as a people in Miami-Dade County? As far as talent, what businesses are we mainly in? Things of that nature. What are we consuming? What's the death rate in Miami-Dade County for Blacks? What's the birth rate right now? That's GDP, that gross domestic product, GDP. These are different. These are like key economic things that I think about. You know what I'm saying? That I just take into account. And that's when we say Black Miami. I'm not saying Opelika. I'm not saying Miami Gardens. I'm not saying, down south that we often forget. You feel me? And that's ours too.
Yep.
That, we steadily losing, and we left when Andrew hit, a lot of us. So so just because we not there no more doesn't mean it's still not an issue that should align with our interests as Black people.
Yeah, and also too to speak to the transplants, there are a lot of Black people from out of town that came here, especially during COVID.
Exactly.
And
we got 3 times the amount of transients as we got ever during the pandemic.
But I feel like they need to care about our shit too, especially Black transients. Don't come in here and be in Brickell, be on the beach and never cross that bridge, but say. But then say in one breath that you care about Black people and Black issues, you never come to Black neighborhoods. I had somebody say they was here for 2 years, couldn't find a Black barber, a Black person. I said, well, did you ever cross off of Brickell and off of South Beach. That's why you ain't find one.
Exactly.
Like y'all can't be scared of us.
But it go back to I don't want to call out names, but fuck it. We talk about Greater Miami Civic Conventions and Visitor Bureau. Now that's for everybody. Now we got a specific division. Those things was broken up in different things, right? Like specific departments that really for like cultural for us, right? And so I feel like when we start to market these places, there's been a better job in recent years, you know, with the Art of Black, especially around Basel, you know, the Art of Black Miami initiative and different initiatives to market us as a destination city. I think Miami Gardens has done a great job, and that's why I keep bringing up destination city, because that's what we have to think about ourselves as. It's like, no, it's not about America is the greatest country in the world, so to speak, we had the largest economy because we import the most and we export the most. When we start losing, it's because we export so much, export a lot. That's when we start losing. And so when we look at us, what's our gross domestic product? We losing our land. We losing these different resources that in different things and money that's on line item budgets. You know what I mean? That's on the table.
So much before, you know, I don't want to leave people on doom and gloom. Do you have hope for Black Miami? Do you feel like it's lost? And if so, what do you feel like? Because I feel like people saying it's slipping. What do we need to do so we don't totally lose our shit? What do we do so we don't totally lose Black Miami?
I'm gonna be real. It start first with self. I can't start nowhere. I can't tell nobody to do nothing else except what I gotta do, right? And so power is just the ability to act, and if I get up off my ass and go over here or over there and do the things that I do, then somebody else will see it and somebody else will get involved, right? And so just like doing this podcast, it's an obligation to tell the community what's going on. You know, I feel every time we get slighted, I feel it's my fault. And so instead of me feeling like it's my fault that I didn't do Trappin Ain't Dead and I didn't provide that platform and I was being self, these are the things conversations I have with myself, you know, and that's what we got to do. We got to start saying, okay, stop being so fragmented and saying, okay, we got Roots over here, we got VDM, we got, you know, these people over here, NAACP over here, 100 Black Men, Circle of Brotherhood, all these different groups, all these different, and we do State of the Union. When we do the State of the Union, let's talk about what we actually got control of. Let's do a resource map. Let's act like these are next steps for me. You know what I'm saying? Down the line, because I know y'all gonna do the State of the Union address. Y'all do it every year, you right? And the powers that be, I'm talking the T. Will Affairs who've been in the fight for the longest. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to be brought into the fold so we know exactly what's going on, because you got issues that stem from the riots, equity issues that stem from the riots, equity issues that stem as far back as Kelsey Farr in the 30s and 40s. So, you know, we need to all be brought up to the history. And I think I need to do, and this is just me, I feel like we need to do a better job of trying to get these stories. Shout out to Emmanuel George who does the archives, and Pac Jam 305, and engage in them. That's why I shout these people out, or engage in Rock the Block. You know what I'm saying? That's why I came on Rock the Block, to give it not so much credibility, you know what I'm saying? But to give it like, yo, this where I'm at. These my people too. You know what I'm saying? And they want to know because they got a different set of users than I got. And it's just show love. And if everybody show love, then there ain't no room for the hate. So that's why I say it start with me. It start with me saying, nah, dog. All right, cool. This is what we got to do.
I agree. And I feel like all hope isn't lost. I feel like we are at a place where where we need to put up or shut up, though. Like the time is slipping. And I do think that I think the hope for Black Miami, especially using this Virginia Key Beach Trust as like I wouldn't say experiment, but the launching pad for that, is that I think that organizing ourselves and using everybody's strengths and not guilting people. I can't tell a single mother of 4 to leave her job and go to the city hall
meeting
at 9
at
9 a.m. I can't
and be there all day. That's another thing. You got to be there all day.
I can't guilt her for that. But what I can ask her, hey, I'm going to just use Miss Keisha. Can you repost this? Can you tell a friend on your lunch break? Can you spare 5 minutes and call down here? We got to give people options on how they can be involved and be engaged and start using our resources. Like you said, what are our resources? What are our superpowers? And allow everybody a chance to do that. And like what Clap's saying, money is the key. I think we got to stay on this issue with Virginia Key Beach and ones like this, because equity and getting these government contracts makes millionaires.
Yeah.
When you
look at Atlanta with Model City compared to
I was just going to say Atlanta.
Atlanta, like when you think about, that was a federal policy.
But and their mayor drove that.
The mayor drove that, yeah.
And so when we have people who look like us, who think about us and have our best interests at heart, we get the economic change. And that's how we are able to save Black Miami. But I think really fine tuning on that organizing. Also, too, stop taking every fucking thing personal. Take that. Yeah. Hey, at the end of the day, because the future of what, once you dead and gone, and you Keisha and Johnny been beefing the whole time, and she a community leader, this is an elected official, and y'all won't come to a head. Y'all keep coming to heads because y'all got all this personal shit. The people that suffer are the residents, the Black people who y'all supposed to be serving. Put that bullshit to the side. And stop taking everything personal. And also, too, the people who kind of could see past their bullshit, the people who don't want to not stop taking things personal or have the ego, then all of us together need to work together and get their ass out the way. And I feel like it's what I've noticed from a lot of people, especially in Black Miami, the majority of us want to work together. It's the loud ones. It's the popular ones who fucking got the egos, who fucking got the personal vendettas, the ones who was fucking bums, who was nerds in high school, who couldn't get hoes, who couldn't get niggas. Now y'all got
that shit. Now they got the power. They the cool people.
Now you think you cool because you got elected or because you got this organization, and you ain't shit. And it's really y'all, the loud ones, who making it seem like all the rest of us don't want to get shit done, when really and when the majority, a lot of us just waiting on marching orders, or we want to work together. I can't tell you how many people be like, I was afraid to come and work with you. I was afraid to go and work with this person because I thought that they may try to stab me in the back. When most of us ain't on that. It's y'all loud ones who always on the forefront. A lot of y'all loud ones who fucking to make it worse for the rest of us. The rest of us need to come together and get y'all asses out the way.
Like I'm when it come to working together, I'm one of them people where it's like, are you good at what you fucking do?
Exactly. I don't got.
If you were good and you effective.
You not my boyfriend. I'm not gonna fuck you. You not my girlfriend. I'm not gonna fuck you. We not best friends. We not going to the mall. You not gonna
like. Are you effective? And I respect people who are effective in what they doing, and I salute them. That's why I say, like, it's people who. They on one side of, like I say, they're on one side or the other, and it's like, I don't care. Are you effective? Are you doing the right thing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, are you doing the right thing? And if you ain't doing the right thing, like, and that's why I say, like, a lot of this shit get like misconstrued and caught up in the middle. Like, you think about Formula One, it's split. Why the fuck is split between what the commissioners want and what they doing in the background and what the clear people over here telling you what they want? Like a community organization that's been around for forever, UpPack, they've been around, and it's just like, come on, you know. So I don't want to harp on the passing the torch. We, you know, because I understand their perspective too. I'm around a lot of them, and I understand their perspective too. They don't understand, so we both gotta kind of meet in the middle. You feel me? You know, and so that's why I'm not like argumentative, like keep saying we can harp on the negative, we can talk about the positive. And so for me, I just rather focus on the positive, and the positive is we need, we just need to come together.
And there's some older ones who are willing, that I will say they stand in the gap, and I'm appreciative for those people who are our elders who are like, nah, like, you know, a Bill Diggs, like a Leroy, like, you know, these people who are like, I fuck with these kids.
Eric knows.
They're like, I'm willing to give them a chance because I don't want to do all the work forever anyway, but I also see the value in them. And I feel like we need more of that. We need more of those type of people. And also too, our Gen Xers, those people that's in that 45 to 55, 60 range, that Gen X generation, we need y'all to kind of step up too as well. Don't just let the 60s, 70s run everything. We need y'all support too. And also too, bridging that gap between millennials and Gen Xers to the baby boomers.
Yeah. And I went to I went to what I used to do for some time is I used to just periodically check in with my commissioners, right? Whether that was D5, City of Miami D5 with Hardeman at the time, whether that was Edmondson at the time, I would literally check in and be like, well, what you got going on? And I would literally just be in their office asking questions. So what's the policy between this and that? Like, what's the real issue? You know, a lot of times we go to be argumentative. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say that, because like I don't, you know, and you can't take everything everybody say. You got to know how to read it for yourself and get some other background to it, because they're gonna tell you their side too. Exactly. But it was different when it was a different approach, you know, and that's what I, you know, even with King, I haven't been up there since she been in office. Jeffrey Watson, I did it with. When he came, I say, hey, I'm Munch. He used to be out at different places. Hey, I'm Munch. I did the same thing with OG before I knew him. I did the same thing with all these different Keone McGee. Every last one of them that's in the seat probably done seen me come up to him and say, hey, I see what you're doing, bro. Hey, I know the power in the position you hold. Hey, keep doing your thing. When you fuck up, you're going to see me, though. Like, if you fuck up, you're going to see me. If you don't fuck up, I'm going to be just here. But I know, but I don't think that I'm shaking your hand and I'm just oblivious to this shit. Yeah, and I tell them that straight up. Like, I tell everybody that you can ask these people. Just walk up to them and ask them. You know, specifically OG, Hardeman, or any one of them, and they'll say, yeah, he didn't say that shit to me.
But here's the thing, though, Munch. At you know, Black press, Black media, I feel like the power too of us and the community needs to buy more into what we're doing. I feel like black owned media and just Black businesses. And the reason why I say those two things, one, Black owned media, we could say shit here that you can't say on Channel 7, Channel 10, and Miami Herald. Yeah. We could have these drawn out conversations to give more context because we own it. Nobody tell me and Munch what to put on our platforms but us. And that is power in that. And we could share those things, especially now in the digital age. Also, too, supporting our own Black-owned businesses. You know what Black-owned businesses do? They fund things. They're the ones who will do advertising with us. They're the ones who will give to a candidate. They're the ones who are providing jobs in our community. When we give back to our own, we grow. And I feel like that needs to really, really be hammered down into this. And that's why I said something in the meeting yesterday for Virginia Key Beach. I was like, y'all keep praising the Miami Herald. Y'all not highlighting the Black-owned media that's been carrying this Virginia Key Beach story on our back. No, I don't got 1 million followers, but I could tell you there are people who came into that meeting yesterday because I sent out a newsletter, because I sent something out on my page. There are people who know what's going on because you've been breaking it down on your page much. So we got to see value in us, whether people got 1 million, 1 trillion followers yet. Or not. There's still value and engagement in what we do. And also supporting us builds and strengthens what we do even more. And so that's the key to also to the success of what we do here in Black Miami. Also, too, I think the success of what's going to happen with Virginia Key Beach. We got to stay on their ass and keeping the message out there and keeping it alive. Yeah. And Black press, Black media can help you do that. But you can't shit on me. You can't call me the day of or the day before and not give me that same courtesy that you give in white-owned media. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't speak for other outlets. I can speak for us. It's like you say, we try to bring that integrity, you know, and like just try to tell a story. You feel me? And that's the advantage of, and like you said, to piggyback off what you said, it's just like that's the advantage of that shit. It's like you can come here, you can tell, like we've had Dr. Gallen come on the show and speak his piece, you know, and lay out his truth. Y'all ain't heard that story from you ain't hear that story from nobody else. Mm-hmm. You didn't hear that story from nobody else. You know, he told you his whole life story on that interview. DC Clark, before he got elected. Mm-hmm. You know, we had a lot of different people and you know before and been showing them. And so
Oliver Gilbert came on
and talked about the importance of Jazz in the Gardens and what that does for the community. And so
development in Miami Gardens and things like things
exactly.
that we're doing. And I still open this platform. Welcome with the, I ain't got no issues with you. Come speak your shit to us.
I don't want to, you know, I'll reach out. We'll see if we can get it. Because at the end of the day, it's a situation where I know them and I keep telling them that it's not no beef. It's just like, yo, you got your side, you got your perspective. And I think, you know, we the only people who pick sides. And reason why I say this is politically when I say pick sides. Hispanics, they on this side and they on that side. You know what I'm saying? They on both sides. So you know, you can't really bundle them as it's, you know,
what you
put
mean,
them one way or
Democrat
another.
and Republican?
Yeah, Democrat and Republican. You feel me? And so with us, it's like we lean heavy to one side. And so when we lose, we on the losing ticket, as we've been, Democrats specifically, we've been on the losing ticket. And so,
and I feel like Black people shouldn't have a party. It should be Black interests always, whether you Republican, Independent, fucking Whig party from back in the 1800s. I don't care, Democratic, whatever you is, we should be voting our interests no matter who the candidate is.
Exactly.
If you Republican and you for me, then that's who the fuck I'm voting for. We got to stop just leaving it to I'm finna vote blue no matter what.
Yeah, I don't know what they got. Ruben, I think, yeah, he said, but in the sake of community, the political field, it's important to have those who are groomed within the community to serve the community, and that's important. That's important, you know, and that's why I say, like, I for me, and I had to be real with myself. Like, this is the space. I'm not no politician, bro. And you know what I mean? I'm not no politician. Put me on the ground. I'm more of a liaison, if anything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not doing no paperwork. I do the grunt work. I do the shit that people don't like.
Using people's strengths.
Yeah, and so
I bet a lot of people ask you to run for office, don't they?
Yeah, I'm like, no, that ain't my thing, because I'm not gonna be a puppet on the string. You feel me? I know I don't have, like, nah, bro. And so yeah, to an extent, yeah, but you know, you wanna y'all ain't finna put me in a chair on hollow ground. You feel me? But at the same time, somebody got to do it. That just ain't something I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And once I got deeper into it and understood what really works, it's like, yo, this is my thing, to educate the people who don't know the process, because obviously one person knowing the process ain't gonna help nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And so as I'm learning the process, I was just like, yo, we need to go to days. We need to go to this. We need to go to that. When we, you know what I'm saying? So it's mobilizing, man. And that's what I felt like. When you say like your strength, this is what I felt like my strength was, you know, rather than everything that I dibbled and dabbled of. Yes, I did my advocacy and my activism, but I'm about impact the everyday, you know, when you know.
This is my advocacy. This is telling the stories, giving people a platform, giving people an opportunity to share their stories, especially stuff that mainstream media won't cover. And I feel like there's value, there's a strength in being able to do that and doing the work that we do. And I feel like it's needed. And somebody has to do this work too. Somebody has to be able to be that fit the state. But also too, I always say this, black media and Black press, we're different from white media. We're advocates. We speak about the issues in our community. Sometimes we have to speak opinionated because like you said, we're digesting a lot of information and regurgitating it for the audience. So sometimes I have to take off instead of being unbiased, I have to be biased and say, hey, this is what this means for Black people. This is why you need to care. Sometimes you have to do that as Black press, and that's okay.
And we have diverse perspectives. That's my biggest thing, you know. I respect diversity in perspectives. I don't like groupthink. You know, I don't believe everybody should think one way, because we don't all live one way. You feel me? So if somebody has a difference of opinion, it's really, to me, it's about what's in the middle. What's the gray area in the middle?
But that's the issue, Munch. It's so many people, especially with this situation with Virginia Beach. Everybody at the core of it, on both sides, of people who are okay with the trust being out and the trust who wants that in. It's Black economics. We want something for us. We want it for Black people. How we get there is where we differ. Some people are saying development. Some people saying leave it as a public park for people to use. And that's where we start having that friction where we can't get shit done because we can't agree on how to get to the other side of things.
And alluding to what you were saying earlier about the strategy getting out, we haven't come to a consensus on what our strategy is to deal with our issues internally. Right? Mm-hmm. So when something goes wrong, it's always at the commissioner meeting, right? It's always at or it's at some public forum where it's some discourse, and now publicly everybody who don't know now has to take a side based on what they saw, you know what I'm saying? Or what they reality of the situation. And it's just like, that's why I say diversity and perspectives. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we not all like it's the truth or lie and the facts, and we just need to rely on the facts. We can have diversity of opinion, but come together on the facts. You know what I mean?
And the fact is, all of us need to get this bag. They don't, because we're owed the bag. So we need our equity of Black Miami Dade. I mean, not Black Miami Dade, Miami Dade County, and that's every municipality.
South Florida, like you think Black Florida? We just came up on 100.
United States.
We just came up on 100th anniversary of Rosewood. They just Dr. Marvin Dunn just commemorated the property that he owns it, that he preserved. He don't own it outright himself, but he got it to preserve the community of Rosewood. You feel me? And so he just commemorated. He just did some events up there in Rosewood to commemorate that. You feel me? And so we it's not just Miami, it's Black Florida. Like when you really start digging into the history of Florida, like my history of Florida, like my family history, like I'm still learning, and it's just like, wow.
And that's really the focus of all of this shit. Our ancestors have fought and died and set up things for us, and it'll be a shame for us to lose it because we're asleep. Because we're not participating, because we're infighting, because we have ego. Yeah. You know, it'll be a shame for us to lose it because of those things. And Virginia Key Beach is our opportunity to show, hey, we give a fuck, we fighting for ours, and we not gonna let up.
Yeah.
Man, Munch, we
on 2 hours.
I know we don't came to an end. I mean, anything.
I used to hate the 2 hour thing, but now I'm okay with it. Like you know, I used to be like, I'm looking at that shit like, damn.
If I see a podcast that I really enjoy that's under 2 hours, I'm annoyed. I'll be wanting an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of conversation.
But that's part of the strategy too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even when LaRussell been giving out a lot of game on the content game. We all have our different strategies, but LaRussell really been like making it plain and simple. Like these are the basics, you know what I'm saying? And so we, of course we'll chop it up, but these long form discussions, man, need to be had. I think more discussions need to be had outside of relationships. That's what's flooding social media right now.
That's
division.
True. That's true. Everybody talking to people who know them and jack their dick. Sorry for the vulgar.
No, but that's really what it is,
For the vulgar reference, but that's
what it is, yo. Like relationships, like.
Man, thank you, Clap. Thank you, everybody that tuned in, that shared, that watched, that saw this reunion. Munch, I don't know when we're gonna do this again. You let me know whenever.
Rock Boys in the building tonight. Clap.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
Hey, Clap. Hey, I gotta represent. My Rock Boys been doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? They redeemed me. I come to the games now.
Oh my God.
Dog. My Rock Boys, shout out to Jube, is all sent, baby.
Shout out to Kara City, shout out to Northwestern, shout out to Northern, shout out to all the schools.
Shout out to Section 104.
Black alumni, Black high schools out there, our urban core schools. Dillard, we'll give y'all a shout out too. Dillard, Boyd Anderson, Ely, Blanche.
Shout out to Pino.
Man, this is good. This is good. Oh gosh, he got the rockets up. Munch, anything you want to say before we head out? I actually put something up here so that people could follow Trappin Ain't Dead and get any more information that they may need. So, but
nah, man, I like this. It'll be interesting to see where we go with it. You know, I'm one of the people, like, at this point, like, I'm just letting the spirit kind of, like, I'm not religious. I just let the spirit kind of take me where I'm supposed to go. I don't want to do things that's not in line with my spirit right now. So, but yeah, this felt good. This is where I felt like I needed to be, what we needed to be doing.
I love that. First of all, I'm gonna be on your ass anyway, so y'all, we gonna see another one. I can't tell y'all when, but we gonna have another one because this is needed. We have fun. The people are tuned in. The people want it, so we got to be able to break down hot button issues and news that's going on in Black South Florida. Come on, Munch.
Plus, I ain't doing production. On this, I ain't doing production on this one. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
somebody throwing a bull sign out there. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. It's been good. I don't have an ending for us. I'll just put up one of our banners as we close it out.
You know, yeah, just, you know, we out of here. We'll see y'all. If y'all want to see this, y'all share, because that's what does my spirit good. You know, energy is contagious. You know, a post is energy. At the end of the day, it's computer engineering. Don't let me get deep in energy.
Before we came on talking about that, and
energy is spirit, man. Energy is spirit. So I need your energy to show me that this I'm in alignment. You know what I mean?
Boy, you already know. The people know. Let's just
man. Because a lot of times, and another thing I want to do is, like, we need the input. You know, clap other people. We need that. You know, and I end on that. Like, I want to see how we can include the community in this.
Definitely.
Like, that's my biggest thing, is, like, I don't want to be a talking head. I want to include the community's, you know, interest in things, you know. And then also, we'll talk offline, but
yeah, you know, we got some things going on, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Of course, follow Hello News. Go to hellonewsmiami.com. Follow us on social media. But of course, follow Trappin Ain't Dead at Trappin Ain't Dead Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Munch, thank you. Another day, another dollar. I salute you.
My Birdman hand rub.
Thank you. This has been good energy. I was so excited.
Man. Yeah, man. I'm excited too, man. You know, so
let's get it. Oh, be at the City of Miami Commission meeting.
January 12th. At 9 o'clock.
If you can't, go to Hello News Miami. We'll have a article up there on how you can participate, how you could call, how you could send a virtual message, how you could call the City of Miami Mayor and Christine King and the commissioners to have your voice heard. And also follow Black Miami Dade. Go to blackmdc.org for all the information on what that group is doing to restore the Virginia Key Beach Trust. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Peace.